Here now to share with us the pulse of the nation, two distinguished nationally syndicated radio talk show hosts, Todd Schnitt and Michael Medved. Gentlemen, welcome both to the show. Before we start, Todd, you had a listener who called in to voice his concern about civil liberties. Let's listen to it.
It goes back to me to civil liberties. If you go back down to this situation here, you got to have a police officer. What's going to be next? Are we going to get patted down before we go into a theater?
All right, Todd, how did you answer that?
First of all, Larry, to all the people of Colorado, very near and dear to my heart, I'm an Eagle County property owner. I was just in Colorado last week. My sympathies, my thoughts go out to all those affected. And they are concerned. We have these occasional tragedies, which are rare in this country, and people are concerned that this could be the beginning of an encroachment or another attempt to take away civil liberties, so people are concerned.
Michael Medved, what were your listeners saying when they called in? And I want to ask you, was there speculation about who this evil guy is? You know, what, who, where, when, that kind of thing?
Well, not so much, because we had answers about that to begin with. And one of the things that I think is important about this helps to rebut that notion that somehow the people who commit this kind of crime are all people who are left on the margins of society. They're poor, they're left out, they're the victims of bullying. This guy was 6 feet 3 inches tall. He graduated with highest honors from University of California at Riverside. He was a grad student at University of Colorado, Denver. And a lot of the listeners were concerned, as people are instinctively, with the idea that simply if you get rid of guns, you'll get rid of this event. But I would just refer them to the kind of event that occurs in other countries where they do have much tighter gun laws, like Norway, where 70 people were killed recently.
But Todd Schnitt, besides the gun law issue, was there any questions today about this guy's motive? In other words, was there a buzz out there? I say who he was. We know who his name is and so forth. I don't really want to repeat it on the air.
Right.
But I'm just saying the kinds of things he reads, whether he's part of a political party, the kind of video games he watches, or any of that thing. Are people looking for motive here?
Well, first of all, of course they're looking for motive. There is a lot of speculation. There's a lot of rumor that's out there right now. The story's going to unfold. The bottom line, Larry, and I've always said this, we live in a country with 310, 312 million people. You're going to have people that are going to snap and go crazy. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality in a free society.
Michael Medved, what was your toughest questioner today?
Oh, well, I had somebody who thought the CIA was behind this. I don't think that is a very tough question. But there's this general sense, and I'm really trying very hard to lead people away from it, Larry, with my listeners, that somehow when something like this happens, it's a symptom of a sick society. You remember, as I do, back in the 60s when Robert Kennedy and John Kennedy and Martin Luther King were killed, we were told it was a sick society. Does that mean that when President McKinley was killed in 1901, it was a sick society? When the Texas school book shooting occurred, the school tower shooting that where people were gunned down at random, was that a sick society? We look back now on those times almost nostalgically as a period of innocence. This kind of stuff happens. There's no cause, there's no cure.
Todd, let me ask you,
evil is eternal.
I want to give you the last word on that. To me, it's a very important point, because I believe this is a great country, the greatest in the world. And unfortunately, with 300 million plus people, there are some real evil people, some real nut jobs, and we just had one right here. Do you agree with that? And did your listeners agree with that?
Yeah, listen, I spelled it out simply. When these things happen, these are events that happen occasionally. Luckily, thank God, they are rare, but in a large country with a large population base, you're going to have deranged individuals that are going to commit horrific acts.
All right, gentlemen, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Michael Medved, Todd Schnitt. We appreciate it.